How does it feel?
I think the Australian public just got fucked really hard.
We all just got our pants pulled down by the Australian mafia.
Insane. Like, yeah, the budget came out last night, and yeah, look, I think they went a lot harder than anyone was expecting.
Yeah, it was all there in theory, but when you hear it and it becomes reality and it goes into law almost, it becomes real, you know. And for myself, watching it last night, I was angry, and I still am.
Yeah. And
I think a lot of Australians will be, particularly people in business, people that are trying to get into property. This changes everything.
Yeah, look, I think there were a few things unexpected. Like, we knew they were going to target property investors. We knew they were going to go hard against them. But I think the way that they did it is actually going to make it even harder for more property investors and first-home buyers to get into the market. You know, there was a rule there, the pre-1985 rule. So if you owned property before 1985, you didn't have to pay capital gains tax. That was a good one. I think, you know, they had to get rid of. Like, you've had a lot of people that had properties before 1985 that have gone up an absolute mozza, and they weren't getting taxed for capital gain purposes because there was no capital gains back before 1985. So I think that was a good move. In terms of for people who own properties, it sort of grandfathered those properties if you're negatively geared, and it's just going to force them not to sell. You know, because if you're getting that benefit, and now if you go purchase a second-hand property now, you don't get the negative gearing benefit up front. Why would you buy any more to start with? But not only that, why would you sell the one that you have? You know, so they were targeting the baby boomers because there is a little grace period where they can now sell, and these are according to the rules that came out last night. There's going to be changes, so don't quote me yet until they finalise it into law. But what they're trying to do is to get the baby boomers to sell, to increase supply. So theoretically now what's going to happen, you can have these baby boomers who have a 16-month window to sell their property under the old capital gains tax rules. And you probably will do it because you're like, well, if I wait until after the 14 months, my tax rate's effectively going to jump on those gains, double. You know? Yeah. So I see what the government is doing. I see that they're trying. I just think, you know, the first home buyers exactly now, when it comes to buying a new property, especially new builds, because that's where the negative gearing still applies from next year, it's going to cost them more because now you're forcing all the investors to sort of go into one segment of the market to buy those properties, and they're going to be outbid on newer properties. So yeah, they're going to be able to buy properties that are second-hand. That's true. But what happens if they want to buy a newer, better property that's brand new in a newer suburb? They're going to get screwed.
Yeah. And this just really enforces the division of the upper and middle and lower class. So now all of a sudden you have that middle class being priced out of the market, and you know, the only people that are really going to be able to survive this sort of stuff are the people that have already been investing for years, which, you know, well done to them. But what do young Aussies do?
Well, if you are, you know, you're earning 100, 200 grand, husband and wife, and you're looking to buy an investment property, and you're negatively gearing that property and going, well, at the end of the year, I get a big tax refund, that's gone. You know, so now it's going to impact your cash flow. It's going to impact what decisions you make, whether you're going to buy that property or not. Because, you know, if you get a 10 or 15 grand tax refund at the end of the year, that sort of pays for the property throughout the year. You know, so you're like, okay, I get a bit back. But now you're going to lose that. So all of a sudden now, if you're trying to get ahead, if you haven't got cash, it's going to hurt.
And what does it do? It just forces you to stay in the workforce, really.
Yeah, well, they gave you the $250 working offset, which I thought, you know,
$250.
You know, everyone that's listening, what's $250 going to get you? It's like $4 a week, I think.
Don't forget the $1,000 you also get to claim on tax without receipts.
Oh, the tax deduction.
Yeah. So let's say, you know, $1,300 a year, which is basically my insurance premium for my car.
If you get $1,000 deduction, that's not actually what you get back. You get back about $400.
True. So not even that.
So you're looking at about, you know, $650 at the end of the year, which is about $10 a week. And look, I'm not going to say no to lower taxes, but what's that going to do to the average family? You know, $10
Well,
a week.
with the rate of inflation, which is currently at 5%, projected to hit 7%.
Not much.
Thanks.
Remember those
Pissing on a house fire.
Those Panadol strawberries are like $8 now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Labor government, for nothing. And thanks for lying, because it's exactly what they said they weren't going to do.
The opposite, yeah.
Getting into Parliament, you can see it, it's online, it's everywhere. People are posting about it right now, how Albanese was saying that he wouldn't make any changes to the CGT and negative gearing, word for word.
Yep.
And last night they've gone ahead and moved towards it.
Well, I think it's going to force people more to One Nation, you know, because...
Which is what we've been talking about.
Well, they won the Farah by-election last week, easily. And I saw Pauline Hanson out there waving the flag. And look, she's done well, you know, in terms of where she was. And now all of a sudden they've got a seat that's orange. And you can see already across the whole world, there is a shift away from the major parties.
Yeah. And again, you know, this will probably, I don't know if this will get censored on YouTube, it might in the future, but the wings of the same bird, right? When you think about it, the psychology behind the Australian people now is fuck Labor government, right? Even people who voted Labor are probably saying fuck Labor government, like a lot of them. So where are they going to go, right? Liberals, I don't know, non-existent really, and One Nation are pumping. So like, whilst you think you're voting, you're not really. Psychologically, you're being manipulated to move towards a certain party that promise to do things and not do things, but at the end of the day, they do whatever they want. And here we are.
Well, it's a big question for the Liberal Party as well. Like, are they going to preference One Nation? You know, or do you say, you know, at the moment they're like, we don't want to deal with One Nation. You know, they're not part of us, and they're being very arm's length away from them. But in saying that, they may need them to form government. And if people are sort of going that way anyway, would they, you know, would they throw stones in a glass house and go, we don't want nothing to do with One Nation, and then they go preference Labor instead, you know, and then they won't get into government for a long time, the Libs. So, yeah, look, Angus Taylor as well, I thought he would do better. He's not sort of piercing through. You know, like he's talking, he talks all right. You know, he can talk to talk.
But he hasn't been on TV much. Like, they haven't promoted him. Like, One Nation is all over the news. It's all over the time.
And like, he's going to do a budget reply in the next few days. Let's see what he comes back with. You know, but
do One Nation do the same? Do they also do a reply?
No.
On the budget? No.
They won't, because they're not opposition.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do. Definitely One Nation has the momentum. You know, whether they can ride it out until next year.
A couple of years away. 2028.
I think not next year after.
May 2028.
So
the other thing that was really interesting as well, and something that I've been looking forward to using as a business owner, is the family trust setup. So previously, as a business owner or just a person paying taxes, you could have a family trust set up. Let's say you had a stay-at-home wife or husband, you could then disperse part of your business's or company's income to that person for tax purposes and pay a little less on tax. Whereas now they're bringing in a 30% minimum tax on anyone who receives income or profits from a business into the trust. Is that right?
That's what they're saying at the moment. They haven't gone through the exemptions at the moment, because I think this will get tinkered with. Because there'll be a lot of wealth that's in trusts at the moment.
Banks as well, right?
Banks as well. The banks, they have all these different vehicles and structures. If they start putting a 30% tax, what you're going to see is money move offshore. You know, it's going to move into other areas. Because now it's so easy to invest in the US stock market, UK, whatever. You get into the app and you can just put cash there and just buy shares. And it's like, why would you, like, if you're going to get taxed so hard, and this is what Labor doesn't understand. They think that if somebody's making a lot of money, if you tax them, it's just going to mean more money for the government. But what they don't realise, it's going to deter more investment by that business or that person. Because you'd be like, well, why would I invest if I'm just going to pay more tax to the
You're
government?
basically going into partnership with the Australian government.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So you basically got a third party investor that takes 47%.
Yeah, no matter what.
So if I'm an investor and I want to invest in your business, I've got to take that into consideration, right?
Yes.
That 47% of that company's money, revenue, is just gone.
Yeah, well, depending on what tax rate you're on, usually 25
But at the highest bracket.
or 30%, you effectively have another shareholder, you know? So
Congratulations, all Australian business owners, you've just brought on a new investor in the Australian government.
let's see where, because I think this one's going to get watered down.
I hope so. I hope so.
Because fair enough, property investors are making a lot of money. You know, it's happened over the last few years. It's been a big boom, and they need to tax some people to get some money. Okay, but the trusts are used a lot by business owners.
Yeah,
you know, who are just working, and they're just looking for a more tax-effective way to distribute profits. You know, and like I think targeting that is probably a bit unfair.
Yeah. The other thing that not many people online are talking about just yet is the spending on hospitals, medicine and military.
It looks like we're preparing for war.
That's exactly where my thoughts went.
You know, because like for me, look, the military spending, Trump has been going all across the world and he's having big arguments with NATO over this.
Yeah.
Because each country is not pulling their fair share of weight when it comes to expenditure.
Yeah.
And that's 3% of GDP of a country's expenses. So basically we're going to align to it. You know?
We're funding the war machine.
So we're going to align to it, which is basically part of the American alliance.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's necessary as well because of the risks that are there with China.
Necessary because the problem's been created.
This is true as well.
Yeah.
So, and you can see the money getting spent. You've got the PNG football team, a lot of money going there.
Yeah.
I just saw yesterday there's a ton of money going to Fiji.
Yeah.
So basically they're going to our neighbours.
Yeah.
You know, setting up shop there.
Our branches.
You know.
Yeah.
And
our shield.
And obviously the waterways are there too. That's where trade goes. So that's where you can see it's happening. And I think, in hospitals as well, they're going to get a massive boost.
Yeah, the picture's being painted really for the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, they're definitely getting ready. You know, they're either assuming that Australia's going to have some sort of conflict or people are going to get really sick. Because to spend money like that, especially in hospitals, is a big number.
It's a big number. It's a big number. Yeah. But it hasn't come into effect yet. We've got until the 1st of July, 2027. So what does that mean for people like myself or investors? What should they be doing right now, do you think?
Well, I think over the next few weeks, it's going to be a wait and hold until people know what's going to be happening. Because maybe this stuff doesn't get passed through government, through Parliament, sorry. It may not, maybe watered down a bit as well. So there's those things. But the main aim for the Labor government was for boomers to sell their properties. And, if the laws stay the way, if the rules stay the way that they are proposed, if you are a boomer, you're probably going to sell. Otherwise, if you wait 18 months, you're going to be taxed effectively twice as much on that gain. You're probably going to be looking to sell over the next few months to make use of that, to make use of the old rules, essentially.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they really are pushing people to go into new homes.
Look, we need new homes, and I think the money going into the avenue is great. But I think what they're going to do, there's not enough houses to start with.
I was just about to say that. So the interesting stat that old mate Jimbo gave was 75,000 young Aussies, first homeowners, into houses over the next 5 years, I believe. There's 4 million young Aussies. 75,000, 4 million.
Unless they're going to have like 20 people living in one house, maybe.
Right?
There are just too many people. Not enough houses.
Yeah.
Not enough infrastructure.
So,
it's as simple as that.
Again, not enough.
What they need to do is fast track the approval routes to get developers to come in, to invest their capital, to build. But
now they get taxed more money.
Well, they're going to make money, or they're going to get the negative gearing benefit if they build new. So the government is definitely pushing people in that direction. Yeah. Because a new house positively impacts GDP because it's you know, the construction, the builders, and all
Yeah,
that.
it's better for the economy.
If you just buy a second-hand house, it's already built.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really add to GDP. So I think, yeah, that's where they're going to go with it. But there's not enough houses to start with, not enough land that's approved to build.
Yeah, because
and all
they
the
didn't
rest of
fulfill their promise, which was, I don't know how many houses in a certain amount of years, was it?
1.2 million.
Yeah.
They got nowhere near it.
Nowhere near it, not even a million.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you got to add on top of that now, you probably saw petrol prices are going back up again.
Yeah, back to over $100 a barrel.
Yeah, well, I just saw 220 for unleaded. You know, that's with the fuel excise
in.
It's already reduced, you know.
Yeah.
That's going to finish on the 30th of June.
Yeah.
You know, so...
And the war's escalating in Iran. We've had the ceasefire not work.
No.
UAE's actually hitting Tehran right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's on the news right now as we're speaking. And Israel's involvement's amplifying as well. So the Iran war, the peace talks didn't work.
No.
And I don't think there's really anywhere to go with that, because over 2 months there couldn't be a single agreement done on either of their points.
And this is what the world also needs to realise. This Iran situation has been going on for years, for decades. It's not going to be solved in a month.
No, and this is exactly what I said a while ago, was that this war, I think a lot of people were under the impression of, you know, Trump's going to get a deal done pretty quickly. This is going to drag on.
Because this is also generations,
It's
and
generations.
families,
Yeah.
and all the rest of it that, you know, we have no idea about.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot of pride.
But also what America underestimated is that Iran have actually stuck together. Like they were really depending on a split to happen and an uprise happen, but it hasn't. They're still, the IRGC is still in control.
They are, yeah.
You know, so that is going to continue, and even if it did finish tomorrow, the effects of the Strait of Hormuz being shut for as long as it has would carry on for probably over a year.
Yeah, for sure.
But the war has just really begun.
Well, oil is at, like you said, over 100.
Yeah, it's over 100.
You know, so it's expensive. It's been there for a while now.
Yeah.
So that's going to start filtering through as well to prices.
Yeah.
And I get, like last night the government also announced like a stockpile and all that. That's going to take years to build.
Yeah.
Even if they fast track it. So we're still at bay of what international oil prices do for now.
Because we're still trying to bring in oil from overseas.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, there's all that to consider as well. And then a really interesting few days ahead, because Trump is actually on the way to Beijing right now.
Yes, he is, yeah.
To see President Xi, which is was meant to happen about a month ago, but it got put off till now. And I think that this meeting is really going to tell us a lot about the direction of the war, because if Trump and Xi come to an agreement with oil, with energy, and building factories, it kind of paints the picture of the alliance forming, really. Because for a long time we've always thought that there was this battle of power between the US and China, but can that change things, a deal like that?
Look, Trump wouldn't be going over there unless something was sorted. And there's going to be something big that's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
what's the point?
Yeah. Right? And you got two of the leaders of the biggest nations who are in competition. They're going over there for some sort of handshake over something.
100%.
You know. So what do they show to the media? Let's see, because I think it's later this week. Definitely going to be talking
It's today. I think. What's the date today? Is it the 13th? Today's the 13th. Oh, so tomorrow he heads over.
Tomorrow. Yeah. So some sort of deal is going to come. You know, whether. You know, I was looking at the rumours. There looks like there's going to be more investment from China
into America. Yeah.
You know? So that could be possible. You know, does America need more capital? Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but I still think it goes back to what we were speaking a few weeks ago. It's about America looking after their third of the world. You know, I think that's what the discussions are going to be more about. China looks around Asia, and they've got Europe looking over Europe. So you're going to have the third. You know, the three pieces of the world.
You have Russia looking over Europe.
Yeah. Well, Russia and Europe are still, you know, the deal's not done there because I still cannot believe how Europe is still buying gas from Russia.
Funding the war.
Funding the war when they're supposed to be at war with Russia over Ukraine.
But they're building a military to fight Russia, but funding Russia's military through energy.
Like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, but there's aliens coming. Just look out for those.
You love that. You love that distraction. I saw it the other day. It's like, man, as soon as they talk about aliens, you know they're trying to deflect you from something else.
Look, we've got a lot going on. We've got the aliens coming, apparently. We've got the Hunter virus.
Oh yes, that one.
Right. We've got war. We've got changes in budgets. Like, there's a lot going down, and it's like left, right, look up, look down. Where do you go? Fundamentally, it all comes down to the economy is changing. It's shifting.
It's shifting.
Technology is coming in. The middle class is being wiped out, and surveillance is going to increase because of war.
And the whole thing with the virus that's there now, it's like they're contained on a boat. I think we have been here.
They were contained on a boat until they fucking weren't.
And it's like,
oh, we'll take all of those people who were infected, the 150 or whatever it was, and we'll actually send them back to their countries, which was like 8 different countries all over the world.
Yeah.
And now you already have reports of it spreading in America.
But it's like, haven't we been here before?
Well, we have.
Like,
but we'll do the same thing again.
We'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, and here, take this jab. It'll fix you.
Like, that's what blew my mind. I was like, you've got them all contained on a boat. I get it. They're not probably going, mental health. They're probably, alone, contained, all that sort of stuff. But they're in the middle of the ocean, away from us. Why would you bring them back into society and risk it spreading?
Someone say pandemic?
Pandemic. Like, wouldn't you try and eradicate it while they're there on the boats?
You got to ask the questions, man. These... when COVID happens, I was, the Australian citizen who just quietly took the jab and did the right thing. Mm-hmm. But, I'm raising my eyebrows, man. Like, I'm starting to look at this and go, why? Like, you got to ask the question sometimes.
Well, I think people are seeing it now and thinking twice.
I think so, man.
Because it's like, really? Like, we're going to do this again?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be as easy to fly this time around like it was in 2020.
Yeah.
2020, everyone was scared. We don't know what was going on. But like, this thing in particular is exactly how it started back in 2020. We're just doing it again. It's like, I think people this time are going to be a lot more alert, a lot more aware, and are not going to just cop it the way they did before. I
know I'm certainly not. I'm going to speak for myself. But anyway, we'll leave that chat. I think we're going to see some shit happen.
Yeah.
We've been saying it for a while, but like, big changes are coming, and where does it go from here? Like, that's the question.
I think this is my view. I think the stock market's going to go through a little bit of a correction, but then the next up, so a little bit of a correction over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Then the next few months, it's going to go gangbusters, and I think that's where it's going to be peaking out.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying he won't let the stock market fall at midterms. That's the whole view of the market. Trump will not let the stock market fall before midterms. So I think the exact opposite is going to happen. I think it's going to fall.
I think it's going to fall, and I think he's going to bring it back.
Look, he's going to try.
Yeah.
He's going to try. He's through his second term. Whatever he needs to get done, basically needs to get done by November.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to be a dead duck in water.
We've also got the World Cup happening across Canada, America, and Mexico.
In June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just really interesting timing of things going around.
Oh, there's a lot of people saying they're going to boycott it, but I don't think they're going to boycott it. It's the most watched event in the world. They're going to lose too much money.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen where we just cancel it because of this or that. It's going to go ahead. It's going to be a success. There's a lot of talk as well of biometrics being used to enter the games. Well, they do it at the airport. Like you just walk now and it checks everything. I suppose there's biometric on your phone as well when you open. So I think it's one of those things that's going to come. I think it's already here. It's already here. Yeah. Even as a business owner now, they're trying to encourage you to get a digital ID to do all your taxes. Well, Bunnings, remember they got caught because the cameras were pointing at people and they were profiling them based on what they look like. That's fucking crazy. But it's happening. It's here. If you do something wrong, if you do a crime, there's so many cameras, they find you. Because they can just get the biometric data and bang, AI. Your privacy's gone though. Essentially,
It's
it is.
gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, really. It's, yeah, crazy times.
Crazy times. Let's see what happens later this week with China. I think that's going to be a big geopolitical risk or geopolitical advantage.
Yeah,
And I think that's sort of going to determine what happens in Iran as well, because the Chinese obviously are back in Iran.
yeah,
So is Russia. So now US is going to China. Let's see what simmers.
The other thing as well, actually, that I forgot to bring up, and I'd love to talk about, is the Clarity Act.
Which is supposed to be this week, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday in the States, so it'll be Friday here.
Is it going to get passed, or is it still they're still talking about it?
Well, so the draft has been released, and the stable coin issue for yield has been addressed. I can't see how they would put it off again, because if they put it off, I think it gets put off until 2027.
Oh wow.
I don't think it can actually come back into the Senate to get marked up. So I personally think with everything that's going on, it has to pass. It has to go through, which will see a massive change in how cryptocurrency is used.
Well, Bitcoin already is peaking. Like it's back to above 81, 82 US.
Yeah.
And it went down to like 60 something.
Yeah, so they could be pricing it in already. I don't know. But we'll see massive institutions like BlackRock set up ETFs for things like XRP, Solana, and a few other cryptocurrencies, because those altcoins are now completely regulated, you know, and can be used for the new infrastructure of payments. So some really interesting things happening on that end as well, whilst this is all going on.
Yeah. You also have a new Federal Reserve boss.
Yes,
coming in.
that's right.
He starts this week.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
yeah.
Not assuming.
Walsh.
I think Walsh. I
Fed
think it is.
chair. Yeah, another interesting stat with that is every time they've brought in a new Fed chair, the markets have peaked.
Well, he looks like he's going to increase interest rates, which is the complete opposite of what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah.
This is where when these things happen and the markets are so unpredictable, it's like it actually logically makes sense to do the exact opposite. Because I get it, the government wants to roll over debt in the US at cheaper rates. For that to happen, they need to cut rates really hard. For them to cut rates really hard, there needs to be some sort of GFC.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to get cut. At the moment, everything is peaking. There's a lot of construction going on in the US. Oil prices are high. It makes logical sense for the Fed to increase interest rates.
Yeah.
And if they increase interest rates, especially on more developing countries, it makes their interest expense a lot more expensive because they usually borrow money in US dollars. If the US dollar goes up, the debts on the loans that they have to repay become more expensive. And it actually squeezes those countries even harder.
Yeah.
You know, like we're talking about loans between countries, like a loan between Brazil and the US.
Well, Japan.
Japan is the big one.
The big one, because if we see that spike in oil, which I think we will now that the missiles are flying again, a lot of American investors who borrowed cheap yen will have to start selling.
Of course, yeah, because it's more expensive for them to hold the US position.
Yeah. So that's another thing that could happen pretty quickly, because I know that Japan actually assess their interest rates every month. And the next one is the start of June.
And they intervened in the last few weeks. They sold dollars to prop up the yen.
To prop it up.
To keep it
artificial.
Yeah. But you don't want to be in a position where you're selling.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can only do that for so long.
Because eventually because what happens, it goes the other way. You keep selling US dollars, as an example, your currency becomes more and more worthless because it's not tied or not backed by anything on the other side. And then you start having inflation.
Man, there's so many things just bubbling at the moment.
It's bubbling. It's insane.
So many things bubbling.
You know, it's all going to come to point, and this is how the GFC happens.
It all meets at some point, and then it just.
This is how the GFC happened. You had over-leveraged banks all over the world. You had interest rates going up because things were so hot. You had oil prices spiking, commodities spiking, everything was spiking, and then all of a sudden, bang! I think Lehman Brothers. There was a drama, and then it just rippled and just went down so fast.
This is why Buffett's still holding.
It's still in cash.
He's still holding.
I did a post on the Buffett on Buffett a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It peaked. Like people didn't even know that he's got 400 billion in cash, but he does. Like his company.
Yeah.
Which is like 750 Aussie billion.
Yeah.
Which is it's just mind-boggling.
And he's still holding through all these all-time highs. He's still holding.
He's still holding. He hasn't moved. He's stuck to his guns. I saw an interview with him the other day.
Yeah, what did he say?
He's like, it doesn't make sense.
What am I gonna? I'm gonna get what, 30%?
Yeah, he's like, it doesn't make sense. He goes, I'm not in it to make 30%.
Yeah.
Man, he's in it to
I'm
make.
here to own the market.
He wants to make 1,000%.
Yeah.
Or 1,500%. He doesn't want to make 30%, and that's the way he thinks.
Especially if capital gains is going up.
He's in the US, right? So
Oh, yeah, true. What's their laws with CGT? Do they do that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. But
do you reckon a lot of investors will start moving overseas? Because you've got places like Switzerland, the Cayman Islands, Portugal, Singapore. They don't do capital gains tax.
I think it's gonna. Now it's so easy. You can just sign up to any app and just send money to it and just buy stuff.
Yeah.
I think now the ease to get into foreign markets is too easy.
Like even in Thailand, I think if you use a Thai exchange to buy shares, you don't pay capital gains.
Okay.
You obviously have to have a citizenship over there, but you don't pay capital gains tax. So it'd be interesting to see what a lot of young investors do. I think a lot of them will probably end up exploring the idea of leaving the country.
Like leaving the country, maybe not physically, but sending their money abroad.
Financially.
Yeah. Like it's too easy now.
Which has an effect on our economy, obviously.
Well, what happens is it's not available to Aussie banks, and to Aussie companies, and to Aussie people, right? So that person is not using their money that they saved to buy property. They're looking to go buy something overseas. So now that capital goes overseas. And that's not good for a country.
No.
You want to try and keep it here, keep it all moving.
Just doesn't make any sense. Like in terms of, running a business, like pushing people like us, investors, out of the country. Like the place that we love and want to live is becoming a place that I personally don't want to live in. Because of these things. Why would you?
The taxes are insane.
They're insane.
It's insane. It's like we are one of the highest tax countries in the world. I get it, we have good hospitals, we have good police, we have all that stuff is great. But you're going to get to a point where people are like, well, why would I go to work? I'll just jump on the dole.
Well, it's like being in a prison. It really is. Like, obviously you get to do a few more things, but prisoners probably... they get free food, clothes cleaned all the time. Like, what do? We just get up, we go to work, you get to work in the morning, all day, you have your lunch break, you go home, see your family, which is great, but back to sleep, off you go again. And you know what the interesting fact is as well, is people don't just have one job anymore.
No, they have multiple.
They have multiple. Well. You have people having 2 jobs, plus selling shit on Marketplace, and maybe driving Uber.
Yeah.
And what was the stat? I think it was actually your friend, is it Andrew, who does the stock business?
Yep. Uh-huh.
He actually made a really good post the other day, and he was talking about how the average wage for Australia is $25 an hour.
After you pay all the tax.
But we still, right, which is one of the highest in the world, but we still don't have enough money to pay our bills.
No way. Yeah. Yeah, well, they say that you're only left with about 10% after you earn whatever you earn as what you can spend freely. Because you got to think about it as well. You get paid, the government takes their tax, their pay-as-you-go tax. Then you go buy something, you pay GST. You then go buy petrol, you pay the excise. So after you pay all these taxes, you're left with about 10%, they say, for you to spend on what you want to spend. And also when you have a mortgage, you pay the interest. That's a tax, effectively, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying after everything, it's about 10%, and then you've only got 4 weeks a year to spend that 10% where you want, and you want to run away from the other 11 months of the year.
Yeah.
So you go blow it on a holiday. And then you're back into it again.
And you come back. Matrix, baby.
Yeah.
The simulation is strong in Australia. All right.
Cool.
Well, see you next week.
Till next week.
Ciao.